Hey, I got a question for you, Zach, since you're a big Iowa State fan.
Go ahead.
Were you there booing me my last match when I waved goodbye to everyone in Ames?
Yes.
We changed the game, and I'll be the first one to say it. Me and David, and J.O. a little bit, we changed the game when it came to how senior level athletes were getting paid.
What do you think of these these one-off cards that are happening?
I like them, and I'll be honest with you. There's, for me, there's always going to be a competitive drive. I'm a competitor, right? And then when you go and watch that Brands documentary like I did, like everyone did the other night, and I know Terry's story very, very well. I've heard it. I've talked to him about it numerous times. And it's one of those things that's always back in my mind, like, hey, I retired in 2018. What if I gave my body enough time to heal up and made one more run in 2024? And I still go back and forth with it.
All right, what's up, StaleMates? We're back. We had a really good weekend.
Super fun weekend. Just kind of come down for it. We didn't record yesterday because I don't know about you, but I was kind of healing up from, I didn't really drink that much, but just staying up that late, getting back from Iowa City after our happy hour. And then we obviously went to the duel, and then just the drive back. It was just a long day yesterday. Did you kind of feel a little wrestling hangover?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely drank that much too, but
those Carver beers were getting to you, huh?
the Weinsteins were going down fast beforehand.
Dude, right when I walked in, somebody handed me a huge beer, and I said, this is probably going to be a long day, don't you think?
Yeah, and then I took that huge beer from you, and then I just went with that size for the rest of the night.
I like when people buy me drinks and whatnot. It's like it's a great feeling, but I'm not a beer guy. And so, yeah, I had to hand it over to you. I mean, if they're giving it to me, they're probably giving it to us. You know what I'm saying? Like they're giving it to StaleMates. So I pass it on to you because you're the beer guy.
Yeah, exactly. I'm used to taking gifts behind the scene anyway. People don't think to gift me; they think to gift StaleMates.
So yeah, we're gonna talk about Iowa Penn State, of course, the happy hour, the actual duel itself, just kind of the general topics surrounding that duel because it was awesome. It really was. The Brands documentary, you and I both finally figured out how to watch it, and we checked it out. The propaganda, Tom Brands accusing, I'm assuming, Pat Minio of getting paid for putting out propaganda or whatever he meant. Gable Steveson is going to be, we'll talk about Gable Steveson and kind of his tweets that he's been putting out, and then this Indiana-Purdue video that I thought was pretty funny. Anything I guess you want to say before we get rolling here?
No, we're missing a camera, people. It's funny because we did this new arrangement and we kind of joked that it looks like the first word. Now we pretty much got the exact same setup as when Corbin really were together. So, but other than that, no, I'm good.
Yeah, we kind of are, dude. We're like this is called the second word, folks. Go ahead and drop the intro.
Subscribe to StaleMates. Click.
Subscribe to StaleMates.
That is awesome. What is StaleMates? You haven't heard of StaleMates? Oh, man, he the man.
All right, before we get into these topics, though, also want to shout out Barbarian Apparel. They are the #1 apparel business in the wrestling game, the #1 company that we like to work with. Josh and Company is so easy. Matter of fact, last night I was booking our flights for Texas, and Josh sent through that bag, so we were able to go to Texas and do this kind of stuff. So just
Thank
like
God.
the Patreon, just like everything else, the support that we get from Barbarian means a lot. So we ask if you guys are looking for any sort of custom team apparel that you look up Josh and Company. They're the best. So easy to work with. Easy peasy. And the designs that they come up with are awesome. They support wrestlers. They support us. They took a chance on us from the beginning. So shout out to Barbarian Apparel. I know we've been saying it for a while, but we got to go out there and check out the actual operation, the boots on the ground. We got to get out to Cincinnati. Big weekend for Cincinnati, by the way. The Bengals.
Yeah, for sure.
I know you're not a big football guy, but
I caught it though.
Yeah. Joe Burrow. He's born in Ames. Some people don't know that, but he was born in Ames. That's a fact. But yeah, shout out to them. Also, shout out to Above and Beyond Washington Steel. Trent, if you guys saw who we were hanging out with, that was Trent. If you guys were at the happy hour, Trent was there. So if you guys see him in the upcoming stuff that we do, please go up to him and thank him for supporting the show as well. If you guys need custom floors and if I can speak, if you're in the state of Iowa, hit up Trent at Above and Beyond Wash and Seal. They can come through and make your floors look icy and crispy. Hit them up. All right, the Iowa Penn State duel. Let's start with the happy hour because it was a lot of fun. First of all, I worked that day, right? And then, I'm super excited and we leave and we get to the Vine and it's already packed. It was like 3 o'clock. It's already packed, which isn't like, I'm not saying it was packed because us and Ryan Warner threw like, the happy hour or whatever. Like that place is going to be packed regardless.
Yeah, exactly.
All week long leading up to that. And before that, I told Ryan, and Ryan, I'm going to throw you under the bus. I said, there's 2 Vines in Iowa City. There's 2. Yeah, I know. I got the one right. And all week he said he had the right one. And he was describing the way he's describing it and everything. He's like, yeah, it's right by there. It's walking distance. We'll be able to walk over afterwards. It'll be great. Cool. We show up, all kinds of people there. Right, we walk in. People are, there's a couple of people saying StaleMates or whatever. And like, okay, the vibes are good, right? Mm-hmm. Call Ryan, where you at? He says, just get ready to leave the hotel. I get another phone call. He says, yo, so I booked the wrong Vine, which all week we had been saying to you guys and everybody else, go to this Vine, go to this Vine, go to this Vine. And I don't know what happened, but the company, the Vine, the people at the Vine, they actually saw like a flyer that Ryan had put out and they're like, yo, you're sending people to the other Vine, which is how far was that?
It's like probably like 10 minutes away from the other one. It's just the other one's way closer to like central downtown Iowa City.
Would it be walkable to Carver?
No, absolutely not.
See, that was like the huge part.
Right.
Anyways,
that was so nice.
Ryan's Superman. He ended up getting it figured out. The 2 Vines talked to each other. They set us up a little area, which was pretty cool. And we gave out a bunch of free stuff. Got to meet a bunch of cool people. One dude that was there was the J Money Kearns on Twitter. He's the guy who linked up with Kale or whatever. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did see that. That was one of the first people we ran into in there.
Yeah, and he's got that mustache that he like that very visible. He's a very visible guy. He's actually the guy I think that got that first beer for us.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
So yeah, that was cool. We got to see them. Just like, I don't know, dude, just being able to go out and actually like see the people that we're gonna that like we do the show, right? For people that listen and stuff, but like the people that are on Twitter are always so different than the people that actually like show up and do these like I don't want to call them meet and greets, but like I guess I call it meet and greet because we're meeting you guys just too and greeting you guys. Like that to me, like I always ask people and I'll say, hey, like what's your name? And like almost never are they people that are from Twitter or Facebook or something like that. It's always people that like you don't realize like how many people there are that listen to you that are not just like the same people over and over that respond and like
right.
And like I don't know, just
those ghost followers. That's not like the best name for it, but those people you don't think about.
It just makes you realize like social media is not really the end all be all when it comes to the show and just wrestling in general in life. I think it's funny when people come up and kind of tell you their favorite thing that you do. Someone a nice gentleman came up and was like, I love the Mark Cuban gif, or just or people that come up and tell you, like the one dude who wrestled our buddy Richard.
Oh yeah,
like I don't know, just being able to like realize one how small the wrestling community
Everyone's
is.
connected somehow.
Yeah. So I appreciate everybody who came out to that. And shout out to Ryan Warner. He's like he put it all together. It's so funny to see Ryan's fans or subscribers or listeners or followers of the show, whatever you want to say, compared to ours. Like Ryan will have like the wrestling coaches and like wrestlers coming up to him, and I feel like we have more like just the average fan in the crowd coming up to us.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I didn't think about that in the moment.
I told him that too. He's like, no. I was like, dude, you get like the coaches and the athletes will come up to you and say whatever. We get like the fans. I love that.
A different taste.
I love that because I don't know. It's just I like them both, right? Like it's super cool to me when a coach or a fan or not fan, a coach or
there's definitely
an
those
athlete
people
comes up.
too.
But like the fans like will really tell you what's up.
Right. And I mean that's kind of what the whole point of this was from the start too, is like it was our perspective
Yes.
as fans.
Yes,
And so,
that was always
yeah.
the goal from the very, very beginning. Matter of fact, when we did the interview with Tom Brands, he asked me who we were, and I was like, he said, give me like a 2-minute. He's like, just give me like 2 minutes of
like an elevator pitch.
of who you guys are. I said, you know those fans that are at the top of Carver booing and yelling and all that? I said, that's who we are. And so it's awesome that it's ended up kind of being that way. Like, we never set out to do like interviews with athletes or coaches or anything like that. There's so many other people like Ryan and everybody else that can do that. So like we wanted to create an environment or a culture around like who we are. And so it's so cool to see people that are just like us, that are passionate about the sport of wrestling, and not just, you know, the things that go on within the match, but like the drama and the storylines and stuff. So to me, it was like totally worth it. Totally worth going out and seeing these kinds of people, and just being able to actually put a face to the comments and the everybody else, you know.
It's funny when someone reveals like what their online identity is to you,
yes.
to like introduce themselves. They're like, I'm so and so, but you would know me as this, and it's like, oh, you're the man.
Yes. Exactly. Let's talk about the actual wrestling though. I was actually kind of I don't want to say I was like surprised by any means by the actual results of the duel, but it was definitely a lot closer than I think a lot of people had thought, especially with the news of Drake being out.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think a lot of people thought it was going to be a blowout for some reason, and I felt like it was a well-contested duel the entire night.
I think that's just kind of the general nature of Hawk fans too, is like they're just kind of always what is this guy doing here? Hold on a second. Sorry, that was bothering me. Sorry you guys had to see that. But no, I think just the general nature of Hawk fans in general, they're always kind of like, I don't want to say negative, but they're always got this like super half glass
doom. Yeah.
Full. What is it? Half
glass half empty.
An empty glass. An empty glass perspective.
There you go.
But that's just kind of how they are.
Yeah, I think it's kind of been like they've always been the quickest to turn on their own team, and I feel like even like athletes have known that before too. Like I remember like a basketball player shushing the home crowd in Carver one time after a dunk.
Yeah. Woodbury.
Yeah, exactly.
That big dummy. But no, I think that's just kind of how it is. What else happened?
It was a good duel.
Super crazy duel. Like the results were, I think, somewhat like I said, they're closer than I think a lot of people thought, but not a lot of surprises, except for the Kirkfleet and
right. That was a nice
Cassiope one. That was obviously the biggest surprise of the duel. I kind of put that tweet out there saying what was the biggest surprise of the duel, and that was such an obvious one. But I wanted to see what else people thought was surprising. DeSanto being close with RBY. I don't understand why a lot of people really wrote off DeSanto so much. Obviously our RBY's gotten so much better than his freshman year, but like DeSanto's still really freaking good. I thought the strategy that DeSanto had was interesting. He essentially just didn't want to give RBY a chance to shoot. Like it was like shoot.
Yeah.
He was trying to get a stall call. He didn't want to scramble with him. That's why every time you saw him shoot in on him, he just kind of stood right there. We got that awesome clip of Brands doing the shoe thing.
Oh, yeah. Have you figured out what that was about yet?
I think people were saying that it had to do with RBY grabbing his toes and whatnot, but who really knows when it comes to them.
Right.
But the crowd was crazy. I hooked up a buddy of mine who he actually hooks me up with my Iowa State football tickets. He's an Iowa State guy. He's not a wrestling guy. And he hit me up earlier in the week. It's like, hey man, like I went to this is why we made a big deal out of the shove match at the end of Iowa State, right? Because they get into that, right? And I had a friend of mine who's an Iowa State fan. He's not a wrestling guy by any means, but he's an Iowa State guy, and he's a good buddy of mine. He went to that duel. He thought it was crazy. He tuned into our live stream afterwards where we broke down all the footage and stuff. He was talking about Brands. Like he had real emotion in him after that duel. So come this Iowa Penn State one, he's like, man, I want to go and check out this. Like that atmosphere was crazy. I want to go see what this Iowa Penn State atmosphere is like. So I text him. He's like, crazy atmosphere. Like that is why we do this kind of show, because everybody else that wants to say that the pushing and shoving and the drama and the tea and all that is bad for the sport, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're just wrong. People want to go and see the circus. They want to see the train wreck. You know, obviously there's things that we could have done without. We could have done without the beer throw, which this is why you guys watch StaleMates. I didn't know if I would have the footage. Made some calls. My mom actually got the footage of I don't think it was actually a water bottle. And I kind of feel bad. Do you want to get that ready?
Really? Yeah.
I kind of feel bad because I think that I don't want that tweet that I put out to ruin beer at Carver, because I think that it was awesome that finally we're getting beer at these college events. But I think it was a water bottle, and it was after the Kemmerer-Storace match, which was controversial in itself. And by the way, shout out to Carter Storace. I put up that tweet. It's so cool. It's so sick to see someone like him who literally got booed. They're like, I don't know if you guys know this, but at Carver, the opposing team's bench is on the opposite side of the one tunnel that they have. So they have to walk all the way across Carver to get back into the tunnel to a safe zone or safe space where they can do whatever they got to do behind the scenes. And when they're walking, they're literally like close to the fans. The fans are going like, they're doing the whole stalling thing at him, pointing at him, yelling at him. I don't know how many times I heard obscenities towards RBY, like RBY's name. Anyways, the fact that Carter Storace had as positive of an outlook as he did, he put out that tweet saying like, shout out to the fans for bringing that energy. He did throw a little shot, but you know, it's all good and fun. But shout out to him. We got the video though here for y'all to check out. If you look really closely in like the 4-second mark here, you can see it. Can you turn up the volume maybe?
Is there volume?
Maybe there's not. Did we miss it?
It happens really fast.
Okay, look to the right side of the screen, kind of where Storace's running.
Like,
I don't think it's
right here in this sequence. Watch. Can you see it fly down?
No, it's close to the photographers though, because you'll see the photographers move.
Right there it went.
Missed it. I can see it when it's sent on my phone, but I can't see it when it's on the screen here.
Right. Oh, yeah, it's so tough to see on that one.
But look, everybody's turning facing that way. Can you go back one more time maybe? There's no way that we can do like some sort of frame by frame thing, is there?
This is as good as it will get here. And so it's like right in this.
Yeah. Dang it. I don't know if you guys can see that at home, because I can't see it on our screen.
Yeah, here, we'll just do a fluid motion real quick. It's so tough to catch. Right, it went like right there.
But you see him all turn around. Dang it, it looks so good. Actually, you know what? Let me see if maybe I can, maybe I pull it up right here, because I can see it on my phone. Hold on,
There's no way anybody else got this.
Oh, that's worse.
Maybe
That's worse.
Maybe we can edit it in a still or something.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe I'll have maybe you know what? I'll drop the video right here and the full resolution, and you guys can see it. But you know, for the first time at Carver with that's probably the most that people that have been at Carver since the beer has been around. And I don't think it was beer, by the way. I do think it was water.
Really?
I think so.
What makes you think that?
I don't want them to cancel beer at Carver.
Yeah.
I don't know. Somebody else said
it would be tough for a beer to travel that far. It was a good thud when it hit the ground.
Yeah, that's true. Tony Rotundo, if you're watching this, I think he was close to it. Let us know if
clear
it was,
the air on that one.
Beer or water. The Gilman tweet was pretty fire.
Yeah.
Can you pull that up? Is that ready to roll?
Pretty simple. We are.
Yeah. Then somebody dropping the Gilman.
Oh, yeah.
Can you play that real quick? How long is that? 19 seconds? Yeah, go ahead and play that. For some reason, Tyler's volume's not working today. Can you do it on your thing?
Riff a little bit real quick.
But Gilman's definitely putting out the heat with this. He knows what he's doing. Everybody was kind of looking for Gilman's tweets afterwards. I know somebody that has Gilman blocked for some reason, and he said, "Has Gilman tweeted anything?" There we go. All right, pull that up.
These guys know it. They're just too afraid to admit it.
Here we go.
They all want to be back in Iowa City, but they're too.
There you go. Full frame. This is an old clip, by the way.
Down to Iowa City, best place in the world, best place in the country to watch wrestling, to wrestle, to practice.
Look at Schwab.
These guys know it. They're just too afraid to admit it. They all want to be back in Iowa City, but they're too proud. Maybe one day they'll admit it, but we'll leave that there for now.
Yeah. So clearly,
in the world.
You can pause that. Clearly, Gilman is not happy with the situation that goes on. Right.
Still.
Very passionate guy. I don't know him. I haven't ever met him, but I hate to see this kind of thing happen just because the guy was a diehard Hawkeye through and through. I think he saw the writing on the wall with Spencer Lee, not necessarily the writing on the wall that Spencer Lee was going to beat him or anything, but the writing on the wall that Spencer Lee was going to be the brands and company's guy, right? So it's time to leave. And now it seems like every time that there's a situation with Iowa, Gilman chimes in.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a good look for Iowa or a good look for Gilman. I think it's kind of a lose-lose for both of them that this happened, that this is happening to the two of them. But this is kind of seems like the Iowa way in a little bit, where it's like once you're off the island, you're off the island, right? Like once you're gone, you're gone. So
and Gilman's kind of like holding that true himself.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right, let's move on to the Brands documentary. It was, what do you think of it? You go ahead and go first.
Were you able to watch the full thing on Fubo?
I think it cut off, don't you?
I think it cut off maybe with like 15 minutes left or so, but it got pretty far into it.
I think we didn't really get to see the end of it.
And people kept on referencing something about the end, so if it's significant, maybe don't spoil it. It's going to air again here soon, but from what I saw, I thought it was super good.
I'll tell you what, I liked it and I wanted more.
Yeah.
But I did not like that they focused so much on what Flo already covered with Terry.
I was like at one point wondering if they borrowed clips from the Terry documentary. Because like the part where they talk about him going to the Olympics again, Terry, I was like, is this from the Flo film?
It's literally like 10 minutes of that. Like, it's literally 10 minutes of the same thing that we already knew about Terry.
Like, yeah, which I'm sure if, like, Tom or someone's telling the story, it's probably going to be the same again. But just, like, where he's, like, that same exact story of, you're training again, aren't you? And then he's like, yeah, and you can't stop me.
Yeah.
I was like, that's exactly from, like, the exact same sequence of the Flo film.
I will say this. What they did better than Flo was they actually got more out of Terry than Flo did.
That's what I liked about it, was seeing Terry a little bit more emotional looking back at it all.
100%. They also got it like it was obviously different because it wasn't just about Terry, it's about just the brands in general.
Right. Yeah.
Seeing their mom, they're such a replica of their mom. And I don't know, maybe it's the other way. Maybe their mom kind of changed her personality to be like them, but the things that she's saying is totally Iowa thing. Like her talking about wrestlers were crawling off she's like, there's some schools who just crawl off the mat sometimes, you know, like that was kind of I'm watching this, I'm like, she's like the third brand sibling. Like she's doing the same thing. She's Mother Brands. That was kind of cool to see.
I also like the story though where the dad talked about, I can't remember if it was in college or international wrestling, whenever someone was talking about the brands and he said he turned around and punched him.
I know. My wife was like, Jesus. And she doesn't even care about sports that much, but she was super into it. And she was like, I didn't know there's two of them. And guys, she doesn't watch sports at all. Like she lives in Kardashian world. So, but she's now like, I think more of a fan of the Brands brothers than any other school.
Yeah.
Other than you and I.
And I definitely like learned more about the Brands than I thought I already knew. Like I didn't realize, I guess, how their high school resume compared to like where their college resume went to. And from then on out, like, I feel like a lot of people would assume they were a lot more decorated in high school.
Yeah, and what is it, the Fakest farm guy told him, basically said, I didn't want to tell him, but I thought they were biting off more than they can chew by going there. So I don't know, like what that made me realize was Iowa gets so many of these kids from Iowa that should probably go to a different school than Iowa because they're probably never going to make the lineup in Iowa. But if they went somewhere else, they could be All-Americans. They could be just starters in general. They could have way more opportunities to wrestle if they didn't go to Iowa. And they get so many of these kids that still go to Iowa. They still go for no money. And what watching that made me realize was, how could you not go when you hear their pitch? Because obviously their pitch is going to be, hey, we were you guys and we turned into Olympic champions.
Right.
We weren't the guys that were super nationally ranked. We weren't the guys that had all these accolades. We were just guys from small town Iowa that were pretty good in the state of Iowa.
And really wanted to wrestle for Dan Gable.
And we really wanted to wrestle for Dan Gable. How much they really idolized Dan Gable. That's kind of what they're doing when they're getting a lot of these kids from small farm towns in Iowa that are ranked in Iowa, but again, could go somewhere else and have a starting role or make the, nationals or whatever. They keep getting those guys because essentially they're recruiting themselves. They know what to tell those kids. That's what I picked up.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that, but that's very true.
All right, let's keep the ball rolling here. Getting a little long-winded, which is fine. But I do want to talk about this clip. I know it's kind of old news because how much has happened, and this was like kind of earlier in the week. But go ahead and is the volume ready to go for this? Because we definitely need the volume for this one. You'll have to rewind that real fast. There you go. All right, go ahead and play this.
I'll tell you what. You want me to go off on a tangent? We're finding out that schools pay social media personalities to make up stuff to, whatever, to cause disruption. And that's why you don't pay any attention to that stuff. I'll tell you what.
So,
Stop the cap.
who do you guys think this is about?
Stop the cap.
Ain't us.
It's not us. First of all, I put up that joke of a tweet, and people, I think, thought we were serious. So some people did. I want to go ahead and tell y'all that it was a joke. Clearly.
I thought you were about to say who he was talking about.
Who it was about?
Yeah.
I think it's pretty clear it's about Minio.
Yeah, I think so too.
When he said personalities, that's kind of what Minio was.
Unless he's
He's a
talking
wrestling
about Jagger.
personality. Could be.
Yeah.
Could be. Play it again one more time if you don't mind. Look at that still frame.
I mean, to go off on a tangent. We're finding out that schools pay social media personalities to make up stuff to, whatever, to cause disruption.
Here's the deal.
And
Here's
that's
the deal.
why you don't pay any attention to that stuff.
Here's the deal, Tom.
Stop the cap.
No. No, Tom, that wasn't me. That was Tyler. That's not happening. Let me tell you why. You answered it yourself. You said schools pay wrestling personalities to put out propaganda for whatever. So this theory that you've come up with is only a theory because you said whatever. You don't actually have a legitimate explanation of why schools would do that. I don't think it really benefits anybody to put out propaganda. I'm not going to say this person's name, and they can reach out to me and we can continue our conversation that we had. But this person asked me, do you really don't believe that schools are paying people personalities or whatever, right, to put out propaganda or whatever? And I'm like, no, I don't. And they said, well, what about you guys? You guys are personalities and you guys get paid to put stuff. Dude, that's a totally different argument. That's not even close to a different argument. What Tom's saying is, let's use whatever university pays us to say, hey, we want you to put out this tweet about our rival, whatever.
University.
That's what Tom, I think, is talking about.
Yeah.
What this guy's saying is we're influencers or personalities or whatever you want to say, media people, that put out information and we get paid. But we get paid from our fans. We don't get paid from an institution. That's
to put out specific information.
Yeah. Play this stupid button. Do you have that one?
Stupid.
That's not propaganda.
That's not propaganda. Okay? Plus, dude, I don't care. I don't care what people think of us. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if a school likes us or not. It doesn't matter to me. We didn't start a show to talk about people's drama and the toxic things that go on in their life to start good relationships with schools. Trust me.
Or make money.
The coaches aren't coming up to us at these events. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what Tom could say is there are certain coaches that tell people stuff. There are people in the community that tell people stuff, but they're not getting paid for it. Now, you could make the argument that coaches tell the personalities, and then the personalities find a way to get that stuff monetized by brand deals and ad deals. But if he's talking about Minio makes a whopping this much off of his content, as far as I know.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have sponsors. He doesn't have a website. Facebook doesn't pay you for. He doesn't have a podcast. He doesn't have Google monetization.
It's an open forum.
It's literally free content that he puts out. So your argument there is void as well.
As far as we know.
Allegedly.
See, I think that's the thing. I think it just gets people talking when you say something like that.
You know what I
Either
think?
that or it's heat of the moment stuff just coming out. But
you know what I think Tom is actually doing? I think Tom is actually doing that. Like, Tom's really smart when it comes to this media stuff.
Right.
Way smarter than people think. I don't know how much he really pays attention, but he knows how to navigate. He knows what goes viral and this and that. I think Tom was kind of throwing a distraction over here to get people over there to talk about that. 1984 puts that up, and then he goes this way, right?
Yeah.
That's what I think happened.
Totally believable, too.
All right, let's go ahead and crank out these last two topics here. This will be pretty short, and then we got to get our Patreon-only guest. Guys, if you're not subscribed to our Patreon yet, $3.99, super cheap. You can buy it for the entire year for like literally $40. You get our bonus content all year. You get StaleMates Street League, an extra episode every week. You name it. It's awesome. But go check it out. You can scroll down, click the link below, and go ahead and check out all the bonus content that we have. We have more stuff coming as well. Street League will be back this spring. It's going to be awesome. So we want you guys to be involved. Hop in our Discord as well. Our Discord is popping. We just hit over 100 members. It's literally just like a live group chat about wrestling in real time. We have like a general tab where we just talk about general wrestling topics, and then we have a I'm watching wrestling live tab where people, while they're watching wrestling live, get to talk about it. It's a little bit more private than Twitter. You don't have to deal with a bunch of different bozos and this and that. It's moderated, not censored, but moderated. Trying to get better at the little moderation thing. Sometimes people talk about wrestling while they're watching it live in the general tab and yada, yada. I won't bore you. But go ahead and jump into Discord, guys. I'm loving Discord. I'm loving how it's going. We got to do Twitter Spaces sometime soon, but the Discord is daily. So go check that out. All right, guys. Gable Steveson is not happy. Go ahead and read this tweet. I'll pull it up.
He's upset. He said, wrestling hard, and this is after their duel with Michigan in wrestling Paris. Wrestling hard and being physical like you're supposed to equals cocky, classless, thuggish. Same story, different day. Crazy how some can do worse and get praised. LOL.
Yeah. And then he put another one up too. Can you go just click his name and scroll down? I don't think he tweets that much. Should be pretty easy to find. There you go.
This guy. And if any other heavyweight want to talk that talk, I'm pulling up on you the same way I just did a couple days ago. Matter of fact, I'm coming that way regardless. I want to dominate. I'm not changing a thing. Believe that.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think he's like...
I don't know why I got to him this time.
I think he's probably thinking, hey, I came back to do this for you guys. I didn't have to come back and do this. I got the WWE money waiting for me. I did this for a favor for you guys, and some of you guys want to complain. It'd be harder to take criticism when you know you don't have to be there.
Right. I feel like this kind of talk about like his aggressive style of wrestling hasn't happened since like his sophomore year either. I remember people saying the same thing back then.
Yeah, he was trying to be a heel a little bit too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think if you're Gable, you just kind of shrug it off. Who cares? I didn't see enough of it to really hit on my radar. Really,
I thought it was awesome.
Everybody else thought it was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't think there's really much to it except for it sucks that he feels like the fans don't like him. Gable,
yeah,
if you're listening or watching it or anybody send this to him, you know, what did I tweeted, those who mind don't matter and those who matter don't mind.
Yeah.
So just keep on rocking. I'm happy that you came back. I hope we get to see you in the Iran duel. I don't think right now you're on there. I'm assuming that we would know by now, but
Yeah, I would think so too. Wasn't he wanting like 500K?
I think 50K.
Oh, 50. Okay.
Yeah.
That's more doable.
All right, this last one is kind of a fun one here. I feel like I'm kind of picking on Indiana, but it was a pretty funny video and a pretty savvy video, pretty savage video as well by Purdue to put this out there. Turn that down a little bit. That's Devin Schroeder. Purdue knew what they were doing. Someone says you look confused. Oh, you hate to see it. Indiana, if I'm you, you got to retire, my friend. It's over. The season's a wrap. You know what I mean? It's hard to come back for that.
That is funny.
I was a little worried about me and the Spencer Lee hoodie on Friday.
Catch any comments?
A lot of compliments, really, you know. Compliments. Hey, man, I like the hoodie. I did feel like a sucker, though, because Kyvan, Panera Johnson, and DeMichael Franklin showed up. Shout out to them. Thank you for coming through.
Yeah.
It felt good to have some Cyclones in the building. They're obviously Cyclones, not wearing any Hawkeye stuff, obviously, because they have more nuts than I do. Then my mom walks over, and she's literally wearing a Cyclone Iowa State jacket.
Yeah.
I felt like a punk at that point. That's the only time of the night where I felt like I was a traitor. Here's the deal. I love Spencer Lee. That was actually a drunk purchase on the 4th of July where I was sitting in my backyard, scrolling through Twitter. The NIL thing was just popping. I bought it. Showed up in the mail. I don't know what to tell you. So shout out to Spencer Lee. He got me to buy an Iowa thing. I'm like that little kid in this video. So Indiana, if you're watching this, don't worry. You can dunk on me and post that. But I don't know. I thought it was a funny video.
Yeah, I thought so too. I think that kid was just happy to be there. Get some free merch.
All right, y'all. Thank you for watching this episode. It was a good episode. There's a lot to talk about. I love when we have stuff to talk about. I love when you guys show up to these events that we do. Everything's free that for the most part that we do, except for Street Leagues, because we got to be able to pay the wrestlers and everything. So if you guys are at one of our events and we see it and you see a table or something like that, just go up and grab the merch. Unless it's a Barbarian Apparel table, because obviously that's our merch and we're trying to sell it so we can, again, keep doing Street League and keep on rocking in the free world. Neil Young, rocking in the free world, Spotify. Check it out.
No more.
You guys want to talk about beef? There you go. All right, y'all. Hit subscribe. Drop a comment down below. Let us know where we're wrong. Let us know where we're right. We'll see y'all next time.